Good morning, everyone. My name's Richard, and I'm an alcoholic. My sobriety date is October 17th, 2004. Can you all hear me? Yeah? Okay, cool. Thank you to the committee for asking me to share. And I don't know if I said, but my home group is Primary Purpose in Dublin, California. And it's good to see some of my home group members here. And I get the opportunity to talk about concepts 9 and 5, and I'm actually going to do them in the 9 to 5 order as opposed to 5 to 9, because I have a 9 to 5 job. So I'm giving you guys a 9 to 5 job this morning. So I'm a little nervous today, probably because this is it feels very important to me to talk about concept 9 and concept 5. I've had the opportunity to serve Alcoholics Anonymous in many leadership capacities. Concept 9 talks about leadership. Currently, I serve as our area literature grapevine and Lavinia chair. Prior to this panel, I was the chair for general service in our county, which is Contra Costa, and here we call it our district committee member chair. And I've also served as our area archives chair, and of course secretary at my home group. I've been a GSR or GS star, and you know, I heard somebody say yesterday, I was speaking at a Unity Day, and they said, it's harder for me to keep my composure when I care. And I thought, man, that is exactly how I feel. So what comes to mind when I think about concept 9 specifically, I was asked to tell specific tales, was when I was the area archives chair. It was a very interesting time in our area. We had fires that were going on. We had the up and coming Hispanic women groups that started, and we were hosting the Hispanic Women's Workshop, and and I know it's very strange for me to talk about this kind of stuff because I am a cisgender white male, and one of the things that I remember about being the area archives chair the most was the times that I would go and I would talk at different districts on different topics and different events, and how some of the people would say things right before me, and they would say the exact same things as me, and people wouldn't listen, and it made me sad. And I would get up at the microphone and I would say the exact same thing, and people would hear it. And an example of that was when somebody was talking about how her daughter was dying of alcoholism and trying to find a seat in this fellowship and trying to find her place, but it was very tough for her, and nobody listened. It broke my heart. In this last general service conference, we talked about very big issues, huge issues that when I was a general service representative, I wish that we had these topics. We had topics that were like, does gender matter? Do we need to revise the big book? Right? We did 3 revisions of the big book. We have a Spanish 4th edition, we have a plain language big book, and we have a 5th edition of the big book coming out. Do we need to add to the big book? Are we ready for this plain language big book? Should our language that we use continue to include sexual preference? Now we're updating the 12 and 12 with the the words of the opposite sex. Do we need to update the Black and African American pamphlets? All of these things are big issues. Closing the meetings with the Lord's Prayer. Safety in AA meetings. Is safety a big issue? Yeah. I don't know why it is when a female comes to a group that's primarily male and she says she has an issue, a lot of the men can laugh it off or snap shut, like it's not a problem here. But then if I go and say it, they can hear it. And I just want to say that for leadership in AA, like the vision for me is that Bill talks about in his concept 9. He talks about vision for, you know, having our basically our doors wider open and stuff like that. My vision is that I don't have to have those talks anymore. That when people actually say something and they're harmed by it, that they'll listen. You know, I was and I don't know if I'm probably going to hear about it for bringing this up, but in concept 5, it talks about the right of appeal and the right of petition. And I'll just read concept 5 really quick because a lot of people miss the second part of concept 5. It says concept 5, throughout our world service structure, a traditional right of appeal ought to prevail, thus assuring us that the minority opinion will be heard. Here's the second part. And that petitions for the redress of personal grievances will be carefully considered. What does that mean? I'll give an example. I was running a business meeting and somebody had brought a motion forward about some of the language that was used in the script. Sorry, I got a kitty right here. And you could tell that it meant life or death to this person. And so we brought it to the floor of the group. We talked about it. And at the end of the day, we voted on it. And we didn't vote to change the language. And so we asked for minority opinion, like we normally would. And what happened? Minority opinion went, and we still didn't change the language. So after that, I asked the group, I said, now's the time if you would like to bring up any personal grievances you might have. Let's hear it. And it was silent. I remember the look of shock on people's faces after that because it was such a touchy topic. Have you ever had one of those really touchy topics? This one was about gender. And what is redress? Redress is a remedy for a wrong. So afterwards that night, after the business meeting, we were in the parking lot and we were talking. And, you know, I got to say to the person, I said, you had your opportunity, why didn't you say it? And they said, oh, you know, they heard me already. They already heard it. Well, you know, they're going to keep bringing it up. We'll keep bringing it up in different ways, having discussions, having different topics, having whatever we can do to keep this topic alive, because then as this person sees it, more people don't have to die. More people will be safe in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, as a husband, employer, all these service commitments I've done, all these things I've had the opportunity to rotate out of, I've had to really look at my at how I go about things. And one of the things that I can do the most to work on when it comes to concepts 9 and concepts 5 is I can ask people when they seem upset or worked up, or it's really hard to talk about something. I can ask, tell me more about how you're feeling. And when I get to hear their answer, you know, my heart gets to grow. And I get to have hope for a newer future of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I thank you very much. That's my time.